Okay, so once your template has loaded, we're going to kind of dive in to the overall board layout and setup. Currently, I'm using the pastor's mic, which comes in to Belt Pack 1, and also in turn comes into host and BP DCA, the red DCA, the group fader. So, real quickly, I'm going to give you a bit of a board overview. The way that we have this configured, when you first load your template, there's a very special section in the middle here that is your DCAs. It is the group faders. Yep, so these are your DCAs. These are where everything is funneled in. We aren't really using a stereo bus on a regular basis. All that is preset and pre-configured, but these are going to determine your levels throughout the service. We have drums, band, Vox, effects, which is all effects for everything, the drums, the band, and the vocals. CG, which is all computer-generated material, including the CG computer over here to my left, as well as the iPod, which you can plug in here to this aux, and Spotify from our main audio computer. And then the host and BP DCA, which are our scripture reader mic and our belt pack for the pastor. So that's why you'll see this DCA up throughout the training. So the first button I really want you guys to know about is the home button, okay? Right here on the board is a home button. If I ever get into a specific submenu and I don't know where I am and I'm new to this and I'm a little worried I'm going to press something wrong, I want you to click the home button. That home button takes you to your home screen, which is typically the view of whatever channel you have selected on the board. If I press it more than once, it'll sometimes go to this view here, which is actually a channel of 8, whatever I have selected. If I just press it again, it'll go back to my channel view. So right now I'm looking at vocals 2, for instance. What appears on my screen is all the settings for that channel and then some of the setup menus and things that I can get to. Also, up here we have several other shortcut buttons. We have the ability to store and recall scenes based on basically song. Say you've got a lead on a song. I want that person up for that. I can pre-save that as a setup scene with a perfect mix balance just for that one song. This section allows me to cycle through those different scenes. I've got my talkback, TB, talkback. To the left of the board, there's a microphone that will always be plugged in here. If I press and hold that button, I'm able to talk back to the musicians who are listening on headphones down on the stage. I have a tap, which is configured to the delay of the vocal for any individual song that I have going. I'm going to set that to the BPM of the song. I have the ability to clear the cue, which is anything sent to the headphone input on the board itself. I can also stop and start my recording to the audio computer. This set nominal button allows me to bring any fader that I choose to unity. So I'm able to turn up any fader I choose to unity. The buttons down on the bottom right here, this is how I change the display of what comes up on the faders themselves. So for me to navigate through, the first thing that I'm going to see when I power up and load the template of my choosing is the user layers. These are B1, B2, B3, B4. Okay? As I press through them, they will change what displays on the board itself. Now, if I press both of these outside buttons, I can hop back to the analog layers of this board. Outside buttons. That allows me to bring up 1 through 32, 33 through 64, my stereo ins, my DCAs, my mixes and matrices. Now I'm going to pop back to my shortcut layers here, outside 2 buttons. This brings me back to my shortcut layers. These layers have been configured to allow me to hop through the most important things that I need on Sunday morning. So on this first layer, I've got drums and drum effects. I've got my DCAs always set up in this center section. They will always display. I've got my vocals, my vocal effects, the computer here, Spotify for the audio computer, and then both the host mic or the scripture mic and the belt pack. This doesn't change any settings for any individual channel. This fader only changes how I'm looking at the board. It changes the display of the board. Now, this is a touch screen, so the QL5, anything I touch on this screen, I can select. Maybe the most important knob on this board is some people call it the purple knob. Anything I touch on the screen will turn purple. When I turn this knob here, I'm going to be controlling whatever I have selected on the screen. Also, this board over here will give you shortcut keys to any individual setting on your selected channel. So if I've got Vox 1 selected, I can access the gain for that, the threshold for my 2 compressors or de-essers or gates, the pan knob, the high pass filter, HPF, the equalizer for any of my individual bands, so the low mid, the high. I just accidentally touched the screen. I'm going to get out by pressing home. That brings me back to my channel screen, whatever channel I have selected. So that gives just a brief overview of the board and the setup.